So today I wish to facilitate you deepening your experience of this inseparability, of this oneness. So first of all, question to y'all. Where does everything meet? Just imagine creation for a moment as this infinite field of possibilities, potential experiences, different points of view, different images, different sensations, different configurations of energy, as I call it sometimes, different configurations of creation. There is infinite, endless things we can't even imagine that exist. Anything that can exist will exist and does exist already, timelessly so. So out of that field of infinite experiences, where would you say does every experience meet? What does every single one experience have in common with every other experience, no matter how different experience A is from experience B? What does it share? What's the one common point of contact? Consciousness. Can you see that? We've never experienced creation apart from it being an experience. We don't know if creation exists apart from experiences. And we know for sure that experiences do not exist outside of consciousness. We've never had an experience without consciousness, and we've never known creation without an experience. In other words, every point of contact, every point in creation is actually consciousness, meets in consciousness. And what are you? Are you conscious of my words right now? Are you conscious of my presence here? Whether you try to focus on it or not, is there not an effortlessness, an effortless cognizance that recognizes this moment and this moment and this moment? So who is the contact person for all of creation? You, consciousness. The one being, which is also you. You are, as an individual, an individualized expression or portion of this all that is consciousness. So true entanglement is to realize that the all that isness is actually but one being. We can talk about particles, we can talk about the science of it, and again, that's magnificent, I love that. However, what it truly means to me, and what's the deepest, most profound state of that abundant knowingness, of that unlocking that love, unlocking that inseparability, so that you can gaze upon existence and know that it is yourself. To feel safe for the first time ever, perhaps, to feel safe in this universe because you know you feel experientially that all that you see, all that you can ever run into, whatever the experience will ever going to be, bad, good, positive, negative, it's going to be more of yourself. And if there's only one being, there is no unsafety. There is no needing to be careful. There is no lack. Everything that can ever be experienced is you. There's no lack. So true entanglement is the experiential understanding that all that is but one being. Not so much that one particle communicates instantly to another copy particle spread across this physical illusion of the universe of space-time. What's more crucial to me, and I think ultimately to everyone, is to gain that experiential understanding, that experiential feel of unity, that all is one being. And so as an analogy for that entanglement principle, that space and time really is an illusion, and that possibly, potentially, creation is nothing but a singular point, a single point of presence, a single point. It's the love affair of infinity, of the one. It's expression of itself. Space seems real, but why can't a particle communicate to another particle spread billions of light years away? It's because there is no time. There's no space. There really is no space. And one analogy that could help you gain a more experiential understanding of this is when you're watching television. When you're watching television and you get absorbed in the movie and you see this image, the scene of somebody spreading her arms and overlooking this beautiful valley with mountains in the distance and a sunset. All of that's happening, all that space, all that distance. There is the female protagonist opening her arms, there is the valley, then there's the mountains, then there's the sky, then there's the sun. There's all this depth, there's all this space, there's all this distance, there's all this time lapse. But if you step back for a second, you will see that both the distance, both the sky, both the sunset, as well as the woman in front of the scene, they're meeting as one pixel. They're meeting in a two-dimensional flat screen. Hopefully you have a flat screen by now. And you can see that it is two-dimensional. Otherwise you could still fool yourself, maybe it's inside of the television. But if you have a flat screen, it becomes very obvious that actually everything that's over there is happening right here even though there's this whole sense of space. And especially if you put on your 3D glasses, hopefully you have a 3D TV by now, and it pops out, it's still originating from this one point, this one pixel. Now in this example, it still has a surface, it's still two-dimensional, but now imagine just collapsing that television. And soon we'll have holographic features that just come out of a single point. And there's this whole 3D experience. And I'm sure to an extent that has already been created. But so everything originates from this singular point. Everything that seems to appear as space, distance, and time can communicate instantly because it's all part of the same television, part of the same pixel, part of the same being. So there is no particle billions of light years away. It's right here. It's in the meeting point. It is in consciousness, which is you. And that's where it becomes beautiful, because if you are the consciousness, if you are the meeting point of all that is, what does that mean? That means you have access to infinite abundance. And by abundance, make no mistake, I don't mean money. I don't mean bank account. By abundance, I mean this feeling of love, this feeling of bliss, this feeling of being overwhelmingly inseparable from all that is. Feeling like there is no place you cannot go where you're not going to be met by a friendly face, by a friendly energy, by an inseparable energy, by yourself. So that you can walk fearlessly, naturally, not because you're cocky, but because you know and you feel and you've experienced, experientially, you've understood that you are one with all that is, and that all that is your being, and that you are the meeting point of creation. And there is no sense in living your life without this sense of overflowing abundance. There really is no sense in living your life without tapping into this love, into this bliss. You are a creature of bliss. You are an infinite point that is containing every other point of existence, because there is no space. There is no time. That means that your very consciousness is the root of everything in creation, even the things you do not experience with your brain consciousness. The consciousness you can tap into as your I am, I exist, I am here, I am consciousness. The meeting point of all of your experiences. What if you dive deeper into that consciousness and you can transcend one more step? And you can start to see that not only am I am the meeting point of all of my lifetime's experiences, but possibly, if I let it, I can even start glimpsing the fact that this same consciousness actually is experiencing all of creation's points of view at the same time. Past, future, space, time, distance, location, alternate realities, things we don't even know about. The very same consciousness you can tap into right now if you just take a deep breath for a moment and relax, like a sigh, just like relax your body, relax your mind. Take one more deep breath, and for 2 to 5 seconds, just give away all your thoughts. Don't own anything. Don't claim to own, to know anything. Everything is creation. Everything is the universe. Give your thoughts back to life, to God, to creation. Give your thoughts back for a second. Disown everything about yourself for just 2 to 5 seconds. Be absolutely empty. What remains? Is there not a clarity? Is there not a consciousness? Is there not a presence? Is there not I exist? Consciousness, God, existence, existing right there, right in front of your eyes, right, recognizing itself through your vehicle, through your individuality. It is the absolute consciousness recognizing itself when you take a break for 2 to 5 seconds, 12 times a day. It's all it takes to become enlightened. Recognize your natural, already present state for 2 to 5 seconds, 12 times a day, and you're set. Give it a couple months, and you're set. In terms of that basic clarity, enlightenment's just a start, by the way. It's a waking up. It's just a start. And then you can start to discover, as you deepen into this experiential understanding of the universe being inseparable, you can start to actually feel and experience that you are at one with the things you see. But even that is still a relative level of experiencing. But I can look at you and I can sense you. I can feel you inside of my consciousness. I can feel this room inside of my consciousness. But that's still just a step. That's not the end result. Even more profound step of unity is that you simply know, it's an experience that I can't really describe, but you know from wherever you are, you know that you transcend all of space and time and are inclusive of all of space and time and all the potential creations that could ever be created. You feel that you really are the meeting point of all of existence. And again, not in an arrogant way. This is transcendent of the personal self idea. And yet it's very personal. It's very intimate. It's very usable. It's very applicable. It's very everyday life kind of stuff. So just for a moment also to get into that sense of entanglement, Entanglement, therefore, is nothing but the realization that everything has but one meeting point, that everything is but one being, and that you are not separate from that being. In fact, you are that being. You are the single being that occupies vastness. You are the only being that occupies infinity. You are the only being out of which all of creation is created. That is true entanglement. That is the experiential realization of it. And so why not open your heart? Why not start meeting people as another projection of this one light that you are? And see what happens. It will drop your boundaries. It will make you fearless in a very natural, harmonious way. It will make you naturally loving and compassionate and yet clear and wise and discerning at the same time. It gives you access to a wisdom you could not previously access. All because you're gaining a deeper blissful state of understanding yourself. A more transcendent state. There is no space, there is no time, there's no limitation. You are everywhere all at once. Therefore, it's no wonder that one particle can communicate to another particle, because it's the same particle already. Before they've ever met inside of the illusion of space-time, it already was one particle. In fact, every single particle is one particle moving at infinite speeds, appearing next to itself, creating the illusion of space-time. It's one being, one light that created all that is. You're never separate from what you see. You're never separate from what you don't see. Move into this knowingness. Let this raise your frequency, your understanding, your experience of yourself. Allow this to tap you into abundance, into true bliss, into true joy, into true love, to true empowerment, creativity. Wake back up to your purpose. Wake back up to why you're here. Who are you? Why are you here? Don't waste your life. Have fun, enjoy, share, be of service, share love, share light, engage. Create what you feel like creating. You are a co-creator of this light. Give into that. Know that you have access to every other point in existence. You're never in lack. Lack is the illusion that mankind came up with and revolved its entire planetary activity around. It's the only thing existence cannot compute with, the idea of lack. Everything can exist except for lack. From an experiential existence point of view, everything can exist. Everything can exist and does exist already, timelessly so, in the eternal now, in the meeting point of all that is. There's only one thing that cannot exist. That's a lack. Lack cannot exist. And yet it's the single idea we have come up with and worshipped as the Holy Grail. So we're careful, we're frightened, we're so afraid. We're so afraid of bumping into ourselves. So afraid of meeting more of ourselves, meeting more abundance in different ways, in different forms, from different points of view. It's so scary. So scary to drop the boundaries of the body and the mind and see everything as yourself. But it's not. When you do it, it's not. It's only frightening right before you do it. And then when you do it, it's the most sensible thing you've ever done. And you can never go back. So eradicate lack from your belief systems. Investigate it, transform it. See that in this entangled universe where you are the one light expressing itself simultaneously as all times and spaces and locations and experiences and beings and creatures. How could there be lack of anything? You are the creator of all that is, and you are the contact point of all that is. So wake up to that. Wake up to that. Remember that. Thrive in that. There is no lack. There's never been a lack. Not a lack of existence, not a lack of love, not a lack of acceptance, not a lack of creativity, not a lack of resources. There is no lack. Get this singular idea out of your mind. Transcend humanity in that simple way. When you will start dancing to the rhythm of your true spirit. Dancing to the rhythm of your true abundance, that true knowledge of unity, of entanglement. Thank you very much. Take a deep breath and know this to be true even if you don't believe it.